Welcome, everybody, to the inaugural episode of CFB Prime. And you know who I am. I'm Nino Brown. I got the man on the side of me. It's all about the guy on the side of me. And that's the gridiron scholar, John Lobb. How we doing tonight, John?
I'm doing great. I'm glad to be on your initial show. And for your show, I got this throwback Dolphins hoodie jacket that I wore just for you. So you got to remember, I'm an old man. This is the logo I grew up with, the Miami Dolphins. I saw it over the holidays. Like, give me that. Give me that old school. So I do like the old school stuff. But the interesting part, ironically, is we're talking Devy, where we're looking towards the future. So I'm all ready to talk about the Devy prospects. And Nina, your viewers, your listeners, no one has seen my Devy rankings. I literally finished them tomorrow on the back porch. Now, the film grades are still, I do the film grades during the summer in more detail. Right. These are plugging in numbers in my model and what I've seen over the past football season. So they can't change. From about May 15th to August 15th is when I get into the film work in more detail. But these are pretty good. I like them. Doesn't mean they're finalized, but you're getting an insight. First look, my Devy model.
You got to love it. It's the inaugural episode, and we're getting hot off the press. He just finished on his back porch, his rankings, and we're getting him on the first episode of CFB Prime. I love it. All right,
they're not even on the rookie big board yet. Those still go on in about a week. So you got really hot.
Hot stuff coming fresh out the oven like hot cross buns. I love it. All right. Now, we're going to talk. Me and you like the big running back, the 6-foot guy, the over 200-pound, the guy who got some quick feet, doesn't mind smashing them in the mouth. So we're going to talk 2024. We're going to get off this, 23 draft guys. We're going to talk to guys next year. We're going to get in early. Talk to me about 3 guys that you like right off the rip.
Well, you alluded to them, so let's just get for those who don't know, but Raheem Sanders, Arkansas, is both Nino and my number one. Nino, 6'2", 6'2", technical difficulties, first show. Nino's on the board. He's all alone. We got technical difficulties.
I got excited.
So 6'2", 221. I mean, now let's say he's 215, 216. We always know they fudge the numbers. But
yeah.
The question is, he plays like an angry, powerful running back. Let's give him the SEC bump. I do.
Yes.
Look, it's the best conference in football. There's no denying the level of competition, not only in your practice every day, but in the opponents that you're playing. He's a 4-star recruit, which is kind of interesting. I've watched him now 2 years. I do think, I'm like, wow, how did he get 4 stars? But I do believe he transitioned from wide receiver to running back. If my memory, I haven't looked at all the details. But
I believe you're right.
He was a wide receiver in high school. He had 39 receptions in his first 2 years. Averages 6 yards a carry, dude, in the SEC. 18 touchdowns, anger and purpose. I'm all on Raheem Sanders. So that's both Nino and my number one rank right now. I'll give you a player. Let me give you, I'm looking where you have them. So here we have a little difference. Not huge. You have Will Shipley, number 7. I have him at number 4. Okay. I'm a Will Shipley guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. He was a 5-star recruit, class of 2021. Expectations were huge. He did not have a Nicholas Singleton type season as a freshman. But it was good, people. I think this is a situation where expectations were so high, he's going to come in, be a 1,300-yard back, dominate Travis Etienne, right? You know what he's been? Really damn good.
Yeah.
5'11", 200. Nino, he has 54 receptions in 2 seasons as a true freshman and sophomore. He's got 26 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Averaging 5.4 yards a carry. And Clemson is not. This is not the Clemson of Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence, folks. They have not been as good. Their quarterback play has been abysmal. They almost haven't even had a run passing game. He's been there. I understand. at times he looks a little, I'm going to use lack of a better, nervous in between the tackles.
Yes.
But I also think that's the result of a bad offensive line, dude. I think he's reacting to poor offensive line play.
Okay.
When he has the blocks there, which is not as like it comes in, he gets yards. He has 2,279 yards, Nino. I mean, my models that now he hits 200. Now, you've heard me before, Nino. That 200 mark means a lot.
Oh,
so
yeah. Oh, yeah.
He gets 200. If he goes to combine, he needs to be 205, 207. I understand he's not the most powerful back between the tackles, but he's proficient enough. He's proficient enough. His pass catching, his ability on the outside to me make up for maybe his greatness or lack of it between the tackles. But man, I look at him. Clemson has given this young man the rock basically since he was 18, Nino.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. That means a lot. They could easily given an opportunity. They could have easily brought in an NIL transfer. You don't think if now they haven't done it at Clemson.
Wait, I'm gonna blow the whistle, John, because the team you're talking about, that coach doesn't do the transfer portal.
I know. But they've given him the rock, right? I mean, he doesn't like to do it. You're right. Dabo doesn't believe in it. But if he wanted to make a better football team, he might. But that's a different story. You're absolutely right. So I have Will Shipley at 4 because you know what? He's done. I don't care what expectations were. He's done everything I could ask for an 18 or 19-year-old kid who's coming into a program that's a little bit of a downswing.
Yep.
And the numbers are good. We can quibble about you don't like this on this film.
Yeah.
Hey, he's still going to have time to grow.
Agreed.
So I'm big on him. And the one that I'm really high, let me see where you got this next guy who I like a lot. So here's one we have a big difference on. I can't find his name. Maybe I'm dumb, but I am a huge, I don't see him on your list, so correct me if I'm wrong. Damian Martinez of Oregon State.
That's an error on my end. That is the error on my end. And I'll eat that one. One.
He's my number 8.
Okay, I'd have him in that range. I would have him in that range as well.
Nino, he's 216.
He runs angry.
Yes. Oh, and he looks it. I've read he wants to play at 225 this year. So he's gaining weight.
Wow. Okay.
He had 1,000 yards last year, averaged 6.1 yards per rush, 7 touchdowns. Now, he only had 4 receptions. Timeout, everyone. Oregon State only BC might have had worse quarterbacking than Oregon State.
They beat my Ducks with 6 passes. 6. He got 6, so
I don't even know if he can or can't catch the football.
Right, yeah.
But part of it's the offensive scheme.
Facts.
I like Martinez took the bull by the horns last year. I've been reading about him like he is beyond determined. Like when you read profiles on him, Nino, he's got that anger. I just like how he plays. He might go out and have 1,500 yards in the Pac-12 as a true sophomore.
Are they giving him 3 downs? Are they giving him all 3 downs? Because at the latter end, he wasn't getting all 3 downs.
No, he wasn't. But he got hurt in 1 or 2 games late. Yes. Plus, the offense couldn't throw the ball.
No, I agreed. And he still ran angry, and he got to that outside. If he got out there,
if he stays healthy, I expect 250 carries in this offense this year.
Okay. All right. Now, I want to touch on you guys before we keep going, all right?
Yeah, of course.
The reason I have a differential in ranking with Shipley, it's with 3 spots, I believe it is. You have him 4, I have him 7.
Yeah.
Okay. I believe there will be better quarterback play. So I believe that the receptions, he had 38 last year. I don't see that being the number that he's going to get this year. I feel Cade's going to try to spread the ball. They're going to try to showcase Cade. Obviously,
they need the passing game.
Yeah, so I feel like that's going to take a hit back for him a little bit. I would see maybe like the 22, 25, which is still great. We love it, right? So that would fall him down a little bit. And like you said, I watched a couple of games last year. In between the tackles, he kind of got a little lost.
Oh, he's not great between.
But you get him to the outside, and it's a whole new world.
Whole new world. Now, is that him or the interior blocking of the offensive line? It's both ways.
Right, agreed. So, right. I want to see this year what the differential is.
I agree. He has to show me more between the tackles. But I will, maybe I'm making a leap of faith here. I think they'll be better on the offensive line in the front because they'll have a better quarterbacking.
Correct.
And I think they can do more creative things if they're completing first downs instead of throwing the ball in the dirt on 3rd and 8. Like, I mean,
listen, I was a big advocate of sit DJ, play Klubnik, right? I said it all year. I mean, I've even talked to DJ's dad. I did an interview with DJ's dad. We spoke about, I'm not going to eat crow. I'm that guy. I'll take the smoke. If I say something, I'll take the heat. And he understood where I was coming from. But he made a solid point.
Played well if you're objective.
Dabo's scheme, there was no adjustment either. They didn't adjust to DJ. They just said, we're going to keep going out there. And if DJ throws one deep, one every 7 that gets completed, we're cool. If not, we'll just dump it off to Shipley and we'll throw in routes to Ncaa, and we'll just be happy with going halfway down the field and punting, because that's pretty much what they did.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think I had read this on some site. Like, literally, Dabo said, "My offense has got me championships with Trevor Lawrence and Deshaun Watson. I'm not going to change a thing." Well, that's the worst thing you can do. You have to tweak. You have to, I mean, your philosophy can say the same, but you have to play to the talent that you have.
Right.
And it became obvious to everyone that DJ was not Trevor Lawrence and he wasn't Deshaun Watson. So you better, but he never did. He never tweaked it.
Exactly. You never went, because I know you don't like the portal. You could have went and got a stud wide receiver. I got a dude, an alpha that could, who doesn't want to come to Clemson?
Hey, how about recruit a speedster?
He just stays in the same script, and that's why Clemson University said, you don't want to change? Well, I'm going to go get Garrett Riley. Now, either you're going to change, or here's your predecessor, homie.
Yeah. I mean, look, you can't have 7 T. Higgins, and I love T. Higgins.
But you're not going to get that. It's no way.
But A, you're not going to hit on him all the time.
Right.
And B, you eventually got to challenge the defense vertically with elite speed.
Yes.
And he didn't have that. I mean, he just didn't have that.
If you're looking for the T. Higgins guy, and it doesn't have to be elite speed, get 2 guys that could somewhat take the top off the ball.
Yes,
spread it. Let's not have 5, DBs in the middle of the field and throw the ball to, and everybody's sitting. Like, it just doesn't work. Oh, Shipley's in the backfield. It's either going to be a run or we're going to do a screen with them, right? Like, as soon as he goes in motion, we know what's going on.
Yeah. It just became way too predictable.
All right. Let me, I'm with you with Sanders. He's the dude for me, a big body guy. And I think the fact that he's doing it in an offense that's geared onto a running quarterback who pretty much will run first before he throws, and he's coming back, you got to have Sanders at the top. For me, it's a dog race between him and Allen, because I think with Wisconsin finally having an offense, okay, you're having a quarterback in Mordecai. You got, I think, with Longo being there as the OC, every wide receiver in the past 7 years under Longo with, A.J. Brown, Elijah Moore, Josh Downs, they've all gone through the roof, right? I think Cheeky, what's it? I'm going to get his name wrong. I say it all the time. Cheeky Demi, or whatever his name is, the wide receiver for Wisconsin. I feel he takes that step. So now you're going to have a wide receiver, right? You got a quarterback. They got a defense. They have a guy in the secondary that plays well.
They can play defense.
So I think Allen's going to not be keyed up on. Okay, I feel like, all right, we might have to watch 2 guys on the outside. We might have to watch this tight end going across the middle. We can't just spy on Allen. And if you play one linebacker on Braylon Allen, God bless. You're done. Done. So I think Allen is, for me, consensus number 2.
So I have him a little lower. I have him 5.
Okay. Talk to me.
I'm a Braylon Allen guy.
Right.
So I like Braylon. I had last year arguments. People didn't even have him like their top 30 after his freshman year. I'm like people. Do you see his feet for a man who's 238? I'm
got
sorry.
That sweet feet, baby.
I mean, however, I haven't seen him that well in the passing game, and I thought he took a step backwards. I thought he played better as a freshman than he did last year. Now the team was better too. I think the team took a step back.
Graham Mertz.
Yeah. I mean, what a much ado about nothing.
You know what I mean?
I'm willing to move him up tremendously but I think he has an opportunity to catch 30 passes this year, which if he catches 30 passes, his value will go through the roof if he can do that in Longo's offense.
Yeah, and I think he could.
And I think he's only 18 now. He might be 19 at the end of the season, dude. Because remember, he was 17.
17 his freshman year. Yes, sir.
So
yes,
he's
sir.
ridiculously young, which means he would be a 19 or 20-year-old in the draft. I mean, I don't think why he would stay after 3 years is that just be silly unless he got
It seems like they've molded this team knowing that this is his out.
I would think so.
Right? They gave him a 6-year senior in Mordecai who can chuck the rock around the field, right?
Yeah.
You guys that you brought in, a lot of the guys in the transfer portal were offensive linemen. So they bolstered up the offensive line, right? Got protection and run blocking. It just seems like they know the writing's on the wall. Let's go and do it.
Maybe Braylon Allen gets 300 carries like the old Ron Dane or the old Melvin Gordon.
Oh, man.
Like they just go off.
Bowling ball status. Just let them go in there and wreck people. By the fourth quarter, the defensive line don't want to deal with them no more.
Yes. So the reason why he's a little lower for me is his pass receiving chops aren't what I want to see yet.
Yeah, 13 receptions.
That's the only thing that keeps him from being higher. As far as like if you were just talking pure running, like if we took the pass catch, you can make the argument he's number 2 in the whole group. But you got to factor in pass catching.
All right. I'm going to throw a couple guys at you.
Sure.
And then I'll let you throw a couple more at me. Right. I got a guy that came
out.
I got a guy. Like Gruden, right? I got a guy. And he came on the scene last year out in Florida. He had a lot of hype around him coming in.
I think I know who you're talking.
First 2 years, he didn't live up to the hype. I think there was an injury mixed in there as well. But people like the diehards, like me and you, my friend Jason, he's the all-purpose scout, right? A gentleman like him, guys at C2C, they know about this guy. But a lot of people in the Devy world, they're not really talking about him. And I got Florida State as a top 5 team for me this year. I think they're going to be the Cinderella team. I think the quarterback play is, he proved to me last year he could take that step when needed to. I know it's hard for me to say because that gentleman in Clemson, Williams, the wide receiver, has all of that talent. But I'm going to go out and say that, Johnny Wilson is going to be the number 1 wide receiver in the ACC this year. He just has all the intangibles, the size and everything. So now you put all the pieces around. Benson is the man in the backfield, okay? Trey Benson, I feel, is about to go off. He's about to put the world on notice. He's about to put the ACC on notice. Like, we talk about low body and explosiveness. That first practice they showed him, I saw pictures. His upper leg is just enormous, and he is coming out of the hole like a rocket. And he's looked smooth. You got them sweet feet like we talk about, right? He has hands. What did he have last year in receptions? He had 13 receptions for 144 yards, which isn't the greatest, but that was his first year really back, like fully healthy and involved. I think Trey Benson is a top 5 running back in this class. What are your thoughts?
Well, it's interesting, because I thought I was high on him at number 9 because I feel like he's getting no press that I can tell. I mean, obviously hardcore know him. But nationwide, I don't think most people know the starting running back at Florida State is.
Right.
But you have him at number 3. So, you're even higher than, and I like him a lot. He's a Mike Norvell back.
Yep.
Think about who Mike Norvell from Memphis, Darrell Henderson, Tony Pollard, and there's a third running back in the NFL.
Gibson and Gainwell. Antonio Gibson and Gainwell.
Kenneth Gainwell. So you're talking about a coach and a scheme
that is
put in, guys from the G5 at Memphis into the NFL with significant touches. I can make the argument that Trey Benson's better than any of the players he had at Memphis. Think about it, right? 215, 6'1". I know if he stays healthy, Nino, Trey Benson's going to have 1,600 yards for Mike Norvell this year.
Facts.
It's going to happen. We know, when was I guess Pollard and Gibson, and that's why Gibson was at wide receiver.
Yes.
And Pollard was the starter.
Gainwell was the starter.
What?
Pollard was the year before Gibson.
Pollard was the starter, which kept Antonio Gibson at wide receiver.
Yep, and then Gainwell is the backup.
Yes. So Benson's better than all those guys.
I agree with you.
So but I need to see more than 1 year. He's only a 3-star, which I'm shocked that he was only a 3-star. And maybe that's why he's been able, he got to Florida State, worked up the depth chart. I like him a lot. He's definitely a guy who, hey, if he smashes 1,600 yards, Nino, and when people look into the history of Mike Norvell,
they have
he
to
might end up like in the second round of the draft. I mean, he could skyrocket once people look into him.
He gets 20 receptions and puts up double-digit touchdowns
with 1,600 yards rushing.
Yeah,
forget about it.
I think he could land where I got him, and I feel like
he could. He could.
I feel like this year, the way the scheme's set up, the way the weapons are, like you're not going to be able to stack the box against Travis and Benson. You're not going to be able to. They have the weapons on the outside.
Yes.
I know Pittman's still coming back, right? But they have the freshman wide receiver on the outside. I hear that's killing the spring.
And they got Johnny Wilson back.
Johnny Wilson's a dude. Like, it's just a fact. They have a tight end.
Jordan Travis, finally, the quarterback. No, they're going to be good. I try not to do these blue blood programs because you hear the hype. But if you do look at the roster and you know Norvell's staff and what he's doing, he's got the pieces now.
Yes.
It took him 4 years, but he's got what he needs. Now let's see him do it.
I'm with you. I'm all right. We'll talk Treys. Which one would you rather have right now? Trey Benson, Trey Sanders. Sanders was a 5-star.
I'm taking Benson.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what's weird, Nino? I only use the high school stars and grades just to paint the picture. But at the end of the day, I have to worry about what's been on the field.
That's how you outline with the film.
I'm sorry, Trey Benson's got a better back.
100%. Dude, Uncle Prime didn't even want him to Colorado. You had to go to TCU. To me, that speaks volumes. You went on social media and begged Unc for a job, and he didn't even respond. You ended up at TCU, which you could have a dog year. You could go out and blow up for 1,300 yards at TCU. It's a good program set up for running. I'm cool with it. But Benson's doing it on a higher level.
I go by, the high school grade is a part of the picture. But at the end of the day, what they do in college matters so much more to me. And if a guy who's a 5-star recruit hasn't done it in 2 years, that's a flag for me, man.
All right.
I mean, look at Bijan.
Right.
Braylon Allen, like guys who are that good, they do it right away. And Benson, it took him a while, but he did it. We don't know if the other guy can do it. He
hasn't done it 3 years.
It's been 3 years.
2 years, he didn't even step up to eat. So,
so what am I looking at?
Yeah.
A grade on an 18-year-old kid, 17-year-old kid? Come on.
Yeah, no way. That's his whole body structure's probably changed since then.
Oh, come on.
We got about 10 minutes left, John. And this is CFB Prime. And my slogan is blow the whistle. So I want to talk blow the whistle. First guy I want to blow the whistle on is Montrell Johnson. I'm blowing the whistle because I don't think he's RB1 in that backfield this year. I know he averaged close to 6.3 yards per carry, and he was close to 8 yards per carry, up to mid-year. But the reason that changed at mid-year is because my boy ETN showed up and said, "Not today, homie. Hold my beer." I think ETN takes over that backfield in the spring. He's just so explosive. He's so silky smooth in between the hash and making his move. You get him to the outside, forget about it. What are your thoughts?
So here, it's funny because I looked immediately and you have Montrell Johnson 11. Here's mine. I have ETN at 10, Montrell Johnson at 28. I'm sorry.
Listen, I would get ripped if I put that on Twitter. You would be okay because you're a lot more respected than me, and I would get killed.
I like Montrell Johnson when he was coming over from Louisiana Lafayette with the Raging Cajuns, and he showed me promise last year. Mm-hmm. But you know what, Nino? When I'm watching the games last year, ETN was just better.
Thank you.
I think people don't realize how good because he's not his brother. Mm-hmm. Maybe they stopped watching Florida because they weren't good or they were watching for AR. I get it. ETN had 785 yards rushing, 6.1 yards a carry, 6 touchdowns. And, dude, on the outside,
Forget about it, dude.
Forget about it.
Smoke show. He took one on, I think it was
I'm sorry.
Last week, up the sideline, gone. They couldn't even touch him.
Yeah, and I was reading about him. He's fired up for this year, been talking to his older brother. Yeah. I don't know, man. I think Trevor Etienne's the real deal. I have him at number 9. So where do you have Etienne at?
I didn't put him on there.
See, I love Etienne.
I didn't put him on there. I love him. He is
such a SEC back, 215.
Yes.
Explosive on the outside. Look at he's 5'9". 218. You know what his BM if he's, let's say he's 215, right?
Yeah.
Let's just say, because we know they fudge.
Yeah.
His BMI at 5'9", 215, dude. And he looks the body part. Like, and I bet you his 40 time is going to be good.
Oh,
like
it's going to,
4-4.
Yeah. Like, you could tell. I saw that first game where they put it like, it was like week 3, they gave him a couple carries. And I was all right, it's got something. Week 4 and 5, I think it was week for the next game. They went 50-50. And I'm like, all right, dude, Johnson's gone. And Shane Alarm's like, what do you mean he's gone? He's averaging 8 point something. I'm like, dude, what I see, he just looks so much better.
Well, here's what's going to happen, Nino. We know, why can't I think of the coach, the guy from the Raging Cajuns? What's his name? Why am I going blank? Let me look at his name right now.
You got me blank.
Billy Napier.
Yeah. He was at Florida.
Yeah. We know Napier from what he did with the Raging Cajuns. He's going to use multiple backs. Now, with Louisiana Lafayette, they ran even 3 backs at times because they barely threw the ball. Now, he's got to, at Florida, you've got to throw the ball to compete in the SEC.
Yeah.
There's just no way you can run that offense you did at Louisiana Lafayette full time in the SEC. You've got to throw. But he is going to rotate those 2 backs. I expect rational coaching. Napier sees him, I don't. Rational coaching tells me that Etienne is better. He should get 60% of the touches.
Thank you.
And that means Johnson probably gets 35%. And then you get the other 5%. I don't know, whoever, right? That's what rational, because I don't see how you could watch both players last year and at least the last 4 or 5 games of the season and not think Etienne's a more explosive, better back. It seemed obvious to me, but so I think you're going to see Etienne with more time. Now, will Johnson get the dirty work, first and goal from the 4? He'll play Johnson.
Yeah.
He will. The bigger back, he likes him. Don't put the wear and tear on Etienne, right? I mean, that's cool. That's fine. Yeah. So Etienne's ceiling might be cut, but I think he's a much better NFL prospect.
Yeah, I would put him now. Like, I wanted to see what the thoughts were. I thought I was going to be, out in left field. I don't hear much about Etienne and the Angry Bluebird.
Not enough. Not enough. I think people are missing out.
I would put him probably somewhere where I got Shipley. So I put him at 6, 7, somewhere in that range for me. I want one more blow to whistle. This is probably going to be a hot one. I'm probably going to get murdered. I'm sorry, Kevin, at the Boys 22. I know you're a Michigan guy. But Blake Corum, I'm blowing a damn whistle on Blake Corum this year, okay? I said to KT about 3 weeks ago that I don't know if Blake Corum is a top 3 running back in this class going into the season. I just don't know. And then the arrival of the freshman at Michigan went off, okay? I know it was just a scrimmage, but he owned every part of that scrimmage.
Oh, they're loaded in the back.
Right. And Donovan Edwards had 100 less carries for just less than a little over 500 yards less than Blake Corum. Like, that's something. That means 100 less and only 500 less. Like, that's a big 240, 140. I think if you gave Donovan Edwards the same amount of touches as you had Blake Corum last year, I think he surpasses the numbers that he put up. I think Donovan Edwards is a more explosive, shiftier back, and he's doing it earlier in his career. It took Corum how long before he became that dude?
So it's a very, because I'm a Michigan fan. I'm sure everyone knows me by now. I mean, I'm a UConn season ticket holder, but I'm a 50-year-old Michigan fan. What Corum does in tight quarters Nino, is special.
Is that available still?
I have not seen very many players who can weave in between the guards with a fullback and a backside tackle slamming down. Do you have how much traffic Michigan? They want to play in a phone booth.
Yeah, they love it.
They want to put as many men in a phone booth as they can. And for Corum to squeeze and get those, I mean, I think he is so special between the tackles. Now, the problem is the NFL defenders are bigger, faster, better, windows closed. So that's problem one.
Hold on. See this?
What?
I'm blowing a whistle. Because my question of what he's special on, is that going to be available this year with that injury? Is he going to be as movable, as shifty? I don't know.
Yes, that I will agree on. If he doesn't show me, I mean, his vision
is elite.
And his lateral quickness in tight quarters, I mean, I really think he's one of the best I've ever seen. Like, he's ridiculous, dude, in that role. Now, Edwards, pass catching, he's better than Corum. And Corum's good, but Edwards is better. Get him outside. Edwards is better than Corum.
Yeah.
So, but Corum gives the Wolverines what Harbaugh wants, toughness in between the tackles. And that's why he's getting on the field. Now, how much I like the two. I have Corum at 7, Donovan Edwards at 12. I like both of them. Now, they're both 4-star recruits. Corum's listed at 200. He doesn't look it, but, it's hard to tell body size, mass when you're watching film. I mean, I'm just going to put it out
5'8", though, right? 5'8"?
If he's 5'8", 200, that is an awesome BMI. But is he?
I don't know.
Is he?
Yeah, I don't think so. I want to say 195. You know what I
mean? If you ask me what would I bet, 192.
Okay.
That's what I think, but I could be wrong.
But look at Edwards.
But
Edwards is 6'2", 202. That's believable.
But he looks bigger than
Yes.
So, but I can't ignore what Blake Corum has done on the field at this point.
Right.
Obviously, if the injury comes in, you're right. If he's not getting 20 touches a game, and if he's not between the tackles the way he is, then we have challenges.
Right.
But Nino, I've watched a lot of football. His ability in traffic, man, I'm blown away.
He's the closest to Bijan in the phone book that I've seen.
Yes.
Last year. Bijan in the phone book
was awesome.
It was awesome.
Awesome.
In a phone booth. And Corum is the same way. The reason why I have Edwards above him, yards per carry. Positive plays per, he beat him, right? Per touch, positive plays per touch.
Yeah.
100 less, he beats him. The injury is a main factor for me. I'm hearing nothing about it right now. Are you hearing anything about it?
And I don't think Michigan my gut instinct is you're not going to find anything out about Corum.
Right. I don't even know if he starts week 1. Like, that, my concern is he going to be even ready for week 1? And if he's not,
well, then we got problems.
Right. Yes. So, and I think that Michigan did him a disservice by playing him in that game at the end of the season.
They turned up. Against Ohio State, they should.
He should not have played. Yeah.
They should not have played him.
No. So,
I agree with that.
I don't know if that sets him back anymore. Before we go, 60 seconds, John, before we close it out. Why is nobody talking about my damn guy, Carson Steele?
Carson Steele. Because he's coming from the MAC, and people don't believe in G5 MAC. Hey, I have him at number 32. If he blows the doors open, I'm all willing to do it. Let me tell you who I think we're going to fall in love with. Jarquez Hunter, Auburn. He's my number 15. I think he can be great.
I got him at 8, I think.
And I like Roman Hemby, Maryland. I don't know why people aren't talking about him. I think he's better than people are giving him credit for.
Yeah, I got him at 12, 6 foot, 200 pounds, John. He almost had 1,000 yards, averaged over 5 yards per carry. Another guy that people aren't talking about before we close this out, Marshawn Lloyd transferred to USC.
I want to like him, but and where do I have him now? Because of the injury history. Oh my God, why do I can't.
You got him in 20s.
I'm lower on him than most.
I just think the opportunity where he's going to get one-on-ones a lot because Caleb and those wide receivers on the outside, especially,
Oh, number 24.
Okay.
I found him.
I think he'll be in the upper teens by midseason for you. I believe it.
I'm worried. The only thing I'm worried about is USC is loaded in the backfield, dude. They got Raleek Brown too.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just wondering if he's going to get enough touches. Plus, you got Caleb Williams.
Well, that's the thing. I think they're gonna. He's never gonna get doubled, right? They're never gonna stack the box.
Oh no, they're never going to stack the box.
So he'll be able to eat that way.
Oh my God! I don't know, and this is totally off the track. Anyone listening, have you seen the depth of USC's offensive skilled players around?
It's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. If they get another quarterback, they're gonna. I don't know if Riley's gonna be there for all these guys to make it through. I really don't. It's crazy.
Nino, the talent that he is stacked already.
They just got Deuce Robinson, the best tight end, right? Like he's like Kyle Pitts-esque.
I'm going to make a statement here, which I can't believe I'm going to make. He might be getting better talent at USC than he did at Oklahoma.
Insane. Absolutely insane. Look at, Mekhi Lemon is a day one starter on almost any other program coming as a freshman, but he can't even get on the field because Sakari Branch is an absolute stud. It's just insane. And in front of him, he's got Jerry Rice's kid, right? He's number 2. Dorian Singer, and then everybody forgets about the guy who used to be the dude, Mario Williams, who can barely get on the field now. Insane.
Dude,
it's just ridiculous.
How did he bring in Dorian Singer? Like, you're like, I'll just take the best guy from Arizona and throw. Like, what?
Yeah, I was like, if he would have got Cephas, I would have been done. I was walking away.
It's crazy. I was thinking about just because of the name recognition. Rice is a starter other than LSU, Alabama, Ohio State, in almost any other place in the country, strictly
off
for
the
name recognition. And I think he's good.
He outplayed Mario Williams the last 6 games of the year, okay? And the last 3 games of the year, he had 5 touchdowns. He was literally mossing people in the red zone.
No,
he came into his own. He came into his own, yeah.
But he might not get targets. It's like you're like looking at the offense.
So what I've been reading and I'm trying to get into and everything I'm seeing, right now he's 3.
Yeah, he's only 3, dude.
But if they play Branch, he could fall to 4. I don't even know. It's insane.
No, the talent right now at USC is out of control.
Even Ohio State, look at them. They're just getting all the recruits right now. That wide receiver room is just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yes, Ohio State, USC are ridiculous. But I mean, like, I honestly think if Rice was any place else, we would know his name. Like,
hey, if he went to Alabama,
he'd play.
Wide receiver 1.
Right now, yes.
Yeah, right now he'd be wide receiver 1, right?
Yes.
And Saban would just be like, "Ooh, I got the pedigree. Like, finally, I got pedigree. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, and then you just said they brought the tight end. Like, they're loaded.
Deuce is a dude. I know. He's the only recruit this year that says, I'm going to wait till everybody's done, and then I'll pick a team. I want to see everybody goes first.
Hey, you want to know one other thing? Then we'll say goodbye. I think Lincoln Riley, if he wanted to have a game where he never threw the ball and just had Caleb in the backs run it, he could probably put up 35 points with those backs and just the quarterback.
You could do wide receiver screens. Like, you could never throw the ball. You could pull a Patriot and throw it like 3 times, right?
And maybe you could do a reverse, the Rice.
You get 300 yards, easily 300 yards, and they couldn't stop you because they wouldn't know who to stop because you would probably stack one side and they would do something to go the other way. Like,
dude, they're loaded.
It's insane. And then you got Caleb who could just take off.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah, it's insane. John, I appreciate you coming on for the first episode.
Well, this was great. It's an honor and a pleasure.
I'm going to bring it back. We'll be back again. You know how it is. But CFB Prime, as soon as I get off with you, John, I'm bringing in Travis May. We're going to talk a little bit about some of these rookie wide receivers he wants to talk about. We're going to see. CFB Prime is here to stay. And if you're looking for some hot take content, tune in on Monday and Tuesdays because I got you covered. John, I appreciate you. Is there anything? Tell the people where they can find you before we take off.
Sure, thank you. Right down, there, 91. You can find all my written college fantasy football work is on fantrax.com, and all my Devy stuff is exclusively available on the Rookie Big Board Patreon page. And right now, the quarterbacks are up. You can go check them out, and each I'm going to have my position rankings for the next month. Next week is running backs. Week after that is wide receivers and the tight ends.
I absolutely love it. Go check out the Gridiron Scholar. Give him a follow. It's the CFB Prime. Blow the whistle. Let's go.